Yes, everybody. Russ, the West Ham Network. Hope you're all safe and well, my friends. If you're around here, you know what to do. We've been busy already. At the morning headlines. Sorry, got really itchy nose. Morning headlines. Then we spoke about 𝙃𝘼𝘼𝙈𝙈𝙀𝙎. Then we spoke about 𝙃𝘼𝙈𝙈𝙀𝙎 Somerville. And then at lunchtime, we had Tim Crane on talking about West Ham's history and a new book that he's that's going to be coming out soon, which it's incredible, really. It's got every sort of team pre-season sort of team squad photo for every season we've been at Upton Park. Absolutely crazy from the obviously the early 2000 or 1900s, whatever it is, I don't know, the century thing, all the way until 2016, including commentary of the season and that type of thing, and be incredible compendium of what's happened at West Ham. And so we spoke at that and spoke about obviously transfers and spoke about just in terms of history and how it's really important to maintain and catalogue West Ham's history. And it's something which we do on the channel quite a lot through obviously the 𝙃𝘼𝙈𝙈𝙀𝙎 series and Hammer's history and that type of thing. And we're going to get Tim on a lot more to talk about things in history to do with West Ham. Obviously, particularly poignant with the fact of with Antonio not here now, obviously Cresswell leaving. They were the last two who were West Ham players in Upton Park. Now, obviously, we know that Bowen played there, and we know that 𝙃𝘼𝙈𝙈𝙀𝙎 played there, but not in West Ham shirts. And so it's a real sort of cornerstone, a real sort of chapter actually of West Ham's history has been closed now. We spoke about it. We spoke, obviously people like Brian Deere are still there, and Kenny Brown, and people who've got sort of associations with Greenwood and Lyle and stuff like that. But still, on the actual pitch. Anyway, enough of that. We're going to talk about Hammer's headlines in association with the KUMB.com boys. Plenty to talk about as per usual. Let's talk transfer rumours. Let's talk about another Colombian midfielder. Now, obviously, we spoke quite a lot about Richard Rios, the Palmeiras midfielder. But we have apparently been keeping close tabs on a 25-year-old midfielder, Colombian midfielder called Nelson 𝙃𝘼𝘼𝙈𝙈, he scored an incredible goal in the Club World Cup. I don't know if you've seen it, go back on YouTube and see it. Great sort of long-range screamer. But we've been keeping tabs on him, and he began his career at Atlético Huila before loan spells at Estudiantes Junior, Atlético Nacional, and in 2024 he joined Pachuca and played a key role in the CONCACAF Champions Cup trophy. Early this year he signed for Monterrey, where he's been awesome in Liga Mexico and one of the standout midfielders in that division. Reports suggest that they want around $16 million for Nelson, which is probably about 13-14 million quid in it. There's also interest from Roma, Real Betis, and Palmeiras. What's interesting with Roma is they've apparently already made contact with the players' representatives. But also, Roma were trying to get Richard Rios and then couldn't afford him. So, is he a cheaper alternative? Maybe, or maybe they're hoping to negotiate a loan with obligation to on options to buy. Real Betis, obviously, Manuel Pellegrini, and Palmeiras, which is interesting because maybe they see him as a replacement for Richard Rios, who's looks like it's going to be at Benfica any day now if he hasn't been already announced. From a West Ham perspective, he ticks loads of boxes. He's athletic. He's got good composure, technically very sound. Obviously, we've seen the goal he scored at the Club World Cup, so he can bang one in as well. I think it's a bit much of a, if I was applying the Rasi Rumour rating, which I'm not doing today, to this, I'd probably give it a 40% chance. There seems to be, it seems a bit more left field, to pardon the pun. But these types of players come out of the supercomputer, and if Carl McCauley has, they've been keeping tabs on him, then there must be maybe a thread of potential here. One person who won't be in a West Ham shirt this season, as he is actually it's to be a Claret and Blue shirt, but not a West Ham one, is Michael Forbes, the Northern Ireland international, 21-year-old, full international. Last year was on loan at Bristol Rovers. This year he's just about to sign. Make it announcement very, very soon officially that he will be at Northampton Town Cobblers. No, it's true. Little soccer AM joke there for anyone who remembers. He'll be joining up with former West Ham coach Kevin Nolan, who's in charge at the Cobblers. I really like Michael Forbes. I think this is a great move for him. He is, for me, there's a real Craig Dawson-esque way of him playing. He's a no-nonsense defender. He's got a big sort of, burly Northern Ireland accent, which we can really hear from the sidelines. And he's been plagued with injury, unfortunately. I think if he hadn't got injured, I think you would have seen him. He would definitely be out on the US tour without a shadow of a doubt. But hopefully a great season under Nolan. Obviously, we'll keep an eye on him. And he'll be obviously reporting back to the likes of Noble and Kenny Brown and so on and so forth in terms of his progress. Really good signing. Really good signing, and I wish him all the best in his loan move because he deserves a decent run of games. Does old Michael? I really rate him as a striker, as a defender. Okay, no, Russ, get your words out. And lastly, let's talk about Evan Guessand, a player that many of us think is ideal for West Ham. Now, we are led to believe he is a man who's still very much on their striker hit list, albeit not necessarily a priority position for Graham Potter, apparently, at the moment. But what was interesting was an interview that coach at Nice, Frank Huys, said about Evan. And basically, he pretty much said that I think it was a 1 in 10 chance he'll be still playing for Nice this year. We have a line of communication open, having just given them £30 million with 𝙃𝘀𝙼𝙈𝙈𝙀𝙍𝙎 after a successful loan deal. So, could it be an option for that as well? Because we know we're good to our word. Nice have lost a lot of players recently, a lot of strikers. 𝙃𝘀𝙼𝙈𝙈𝙀𝙍𝙎, a player that we were linked to a while ago, he's moved to Saudi Pro League. And old Frank, the Nice coach, is under no illusions that Guessand is likely to follow. He's likely to follow in his footsteps in terms of being moved out. West Ham, Sunderland, Leeds, and Brentford are all interested. We know Brentford got a bit of money in their pocket now, having signed Mbeumo to Man United. He scored 13 times and 10 assists last season for Nice, and he's believed to be rated at £22 million, which I would bite their fucking hand off for that for Evan, in all honesty. But in the same way, he's still available. No one else has bid for him. No one else has got him yet. So we'll wait and see. Anyway, my friends, thank you very much for your time. Go back and check out our interview with Tim. Fascinating. Really good chat with Tim. And he spoke about some of the stories and some of the players he's spoken to and some of the history of West Ham, really. And there's some really interesting players that we've never heard of, which will be, I've never heard of, which will be in this book as well. And it's a book available to pre-order. And if you pre-order, you've got the ability to put your name in it and make a little dedication in there as well. All that good stuff. But anyway, take care, everyone. Stay safe. Stay warm. Stay dry. Stay humble. I love you all. Much love. Don't forget to give it a like. Cheers. Thanks.